Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's Relinquishment of Command in honor of Brigadier General Clinton K. Murray. Today's ceremony will be conducted as an indoor ceremony. During the national anthem, we ask that all parties in attendance remain at the position of attention. The host for today's ceremony is Brigadier General Clinton K. Murray, Outgoing Commanding General, Brooke Army Medical Center, and the reviewing officer is Brigadier General Sean Bagby, Commanding General, Regional Health Command Central. Today's music is performed by Fort Sam's own 323rd Army Band Mission Brass, under the direction of Sergeant Katrina Halderman. Today we are joined by many distinguished guests, staff, friends, and those joining from our virtual audience. Among the most important guests are General Murray's family. Please join me in welcoming the following members of his family who are in attendance. General Murray's wife, Mrs. Leanne Murray. And his parents, Mr. Ken Murray and Mrs. Lenora Murray. Additionally, several general officers, senior enlisted members, and senior civilians from commands around the area are here today. Please welcome the distinguished guests in attendance. Lieutenant General Evans and Mrs. Evans, Commander, United States Army North, 5th Army, and Senior Commander, Fort Sam Houston and Camp Bullis. Command Sergeant Major Barretto and Mrs. Barretto, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army North, 5th Army, and Senior Enlisted Leader, Fort Sam Houston and Camp Bullis. Mr. Bray, Civilian Aide to the Secretary of the Army, Texas South Co-Chairman, San Antonio Community Action Committee, Distinguished Quartermaster, United States Army North, 5th Army. Ms. Lawson, Fort Sam Houston, Distinguished Quartermaster. Command Sergeant Major Sprunger, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Regional Health Command Central. Brigadier General Lodi, Commanding General, Support, United States Army Medical Command. Brigadier General Ryder, Commander, 59th Medical Wing and Market Director, San Antonio Military Health System, Joint Base San Antonio Lackland, Texas, and Chief, Air Force Nurse Corps. Chief Master Sergeant Shulkoff, Command Chief Master Sergeant, 59th Medical Wing, Joint Base San Antonio Lackland, Texas, and all other JBSA command teams. Today's ceremony features honors to the nation, relinquishment of command, remarks, and the playing of the Army song. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party, the rendering of honors, the singing of the national anthem performed by Colonel Yun, and the invocation delivered by Chaplain Smith.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, good morning. Sir, if you don't mind, just a personal note of thanks to you and Leanne. Thank you for your sacrificial leadership. And I was thinking of one word, if I could share with the way both of you brought to this place, and I think that would be safety. As the team here carries out this very complex mission, you brought this sense of safety to the team, so thank you very much. I invite you to join me in prayer. Lord, thank you for yet another great day at Brooke Army Medical Center. Thank you that we can celebrate the leadership and the staff in this amazing place of healing. And I ask that you continue to use us in the support of the health of the Army and this community. While the past year have been challenging, we're thankful to you for the entire BAMC team, for the staff, the leaders who have stepped up in the most challenging times. We honor them and their families and lift them up to you for your care. Be with Brigadier General Murray as he relinquishes his role as commander, and bless him in the days ahead. Thank you for the way he has clearly modeled servant leadership. His tireless presence and leadership have been the steady hand at the wheel for the entire organization. Bless Leanne and his family and their upcoming adventure. For Colonel Beaver and team, I ask you, grant them the wisdom required in the days ahead. And as this sacred mantle of leadership is passed on, bless their coming and going, and may your face shine brightly on them and their families, and keep them in your care. For it's in your great name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. The colors at the front right of the auditorium represent the following units. BAMC Troop Command, led by Lieutenant Colonel Melissa Kodani and Command Sergeant Major Stephen Robbins. BAMC Soldier Recovery Unit, led by Lieutenant Colonel Cheryl Justice and Command Sergeant Major Denise McFarlane. 959th Medical Group, led by Colonel Jeffrey Fuel and Chief Master Sergeant Jose Diaz. The relinquishment of command is a simple yet traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. Key to the relinquishment of command is the passing of the unit's colors. These colors represent not only the heritage and history of the unit, but also the unity and loyalty of its soldiers. The colors are the commander's symbol of authority, representing their responsibilities to the organization. Wherever the commander is, there are also the colors. The custodian of the colors is the Brooke Army Medical Center Command Sergeant Major Thurman Reynolds, the senior enlisted soldier in the unit and principal advisor to the commander. Command Sergeant Major Reynolds passes the colors to Brigadier General Murray. Brigadier General Murray then passes the colors to Brigadier General Bagby, signifying the relinquishment of his command of Brooke Army Medical Center. Brigadier General Bagby will pass the colors to Command Sergeant Major Reynolds, signifying trust and confidence in the non-commissioned officer corps. Ladies and gentlemen, the Regional Health Command Central Commanding General, Brigadier General Sean Bagby.
Well, good morning, everyone. How are you? Good morning, teammates.
Good morning.
That's what I like to hear. So this is an awesome day. Awesome day to be a soldier. Great day to be at BAMC. Good morning to our distinguished visitors. family, our staff members, and friends of Joint Base San Antonio and military medicine who are both here with us in person and also those watching on the net. It is an absolute pleasure to be here to honor an outstanding leader and his family for everything he's accomplished during a particularly challenging time. Now, it seems like we just did this a few months ago, and I guess we did, right? But let me welcome your family. So to General Murray and his wife, Leanne, his parents, Ken and Lenora, you raised an amazing gentleman, an amazing officer, and a great general. So thank you very much. It was great speaking with you earlier. And I want to thank the BAMC staff whose hard work has ensured the success and safety of today's ceremony. And special thanks to the BAMC Color Guard, Fort Sam Zone Army Band, and for Chaplain Smith. Thank you for that invocation. And to Colonel Yoon, I can't tell you, every time I listen to your voice, not only you're an amazing physician and officer, but a great singer. Thank you for the dignity that you always give these ceremonies. I want to give you a round of applause. And certainly I want to recognize the over 8,500 soldiers, civilians, and contractors at the BAMC Center campus who work tirelessly every day to provide world-class health care to everyone that comes to us for care. And it's hard to believe that we've passed 2 years of practicing in a COVID environment, and it was only a year ago that BAMC was the leading entity in a fight against the virus when General Murray began his tenure. And since then, there have been 2 coronavirus surges, an increase in patient census as we would expect. And during that time, BAMC stepped up to collaborate with the local community to help manage the COVID crisis by taking on an increase in civilian trauma cases, allowing local hospitals to focus on the area's COVID-19 sickest patients. In addition, BAMC doubled its ECMO capacity. But as you know, healthcare is more than about COVID-19, right? We are a military unit. It's about healthcare delivery. It's about unit, soldier, and airman readiness. It's the regional trauma system exercises with our civilian partners. It's training, because you know that at any time, especially the reason we wear the uniform, is that we can be called upon to support another short-staffed MTF, the national COVID response, or any one of the many named operations around the world. That is what we do. That is the value proposition that we as a military health system provide, and no one else does it better. Let me give you an example of just a few of the exercises and operational support exercises that BAMC has supported. So earlier this year, they participated in the National Disaster Medical System Ultimate Caduceus 2020 exercise, building institutional gains in forward resuscitative surgery, prolonged field care and definitive care as a Role 4 patient receiving center for large-scale combat operations, or you'll hear the term LISCO. In addition, BAMC provided 140 personnel for 15 national COVID-19 response missions, deployed 54 soldiers in support of 25 missions outside of the continental U.S., and they executed 4 global health engagements to El Salvador, to Ghana, Morocco, and Panama, and provided 42 soldiers as backfills for other stressed military treatment facilities. And that's before we go to the partnership with the Center for the Intrepid, partnership with the Institute of Surgical Research and their world-renowned burn unit, the extensive graduate medical education programs that BAMC hosts, and the day-to-day business of taking world-class care, taking care of our more than 250,000 beneficiaries. BAMC has served as the center of gravity among all medical treatment facilities for the past several years in the DoD, with an average daily census of 14 traumas, 37 surgeries, 57 admissions, 245 ER visits, and 3,680 outpatient visits. In fact, BAMC's case mix index is the highest in all of Department of Defense military hospitals. You do amazing work. But as we know, healthcare isn't about the numbers. It's about us being able to care for people and meet a human need. It's quality and safety. When patients walk through these doors, they know they're in good hands. To that end, during General Murray's tenure, BAMC's excellence as a high reliability organization was recognized when the Joint Commission Triennial Review turned up 0 major findings. That is an incredible accomplishment for any MTF, especially one of this size and this complexity. As the Deputy Market Director, General Murray brought that focus on excellence and teamwork to the San Antonio market, where he developed and executed a dynamic leader development program for soldiers, airmen, and civil servants that incorporated senior leaders across from Joint Base San Antonio. This program leveraged lessons learned from U.S. COVID operations in Afghanistan, immigration support, global health engagements, and the implementation of MHS Genesis, the gift that keeps on giving. I know, you can't forget it. So, Clint, thank you. Thank you. As a commanding general, as a deputy market manager, you can justifiably be very proud of the many accomplishments and successes that you have been able to achieve with this team in such a short time. But as we all know, no one's successful by ourselves, right? So can't forget about the love and support of your family, from Leanne and entire Murray clan. Their support, their resilience. Leanne, thank you for moving again. And your understanding have enabled you to focus on leading this command to new levels of excellence. As a leader, Clint, you truly exemplify the Army priority of people first. If any of you follow the BAMC Instagram page, you're very familiar with General Murray's barn burn PT sessions. Have they tested the dirt in that thing? Leishmaniasis. We have an infectious disease doc right here. But seriously, it's amazing. He opens it up. Anyone can join, civilian, military, and then after a hard workout, they have breakfast. Nothing, builds cohesiveness like that. Doing things that are outside the box, giving people tough environments to train in and get to know each other. By doing so, you brought together a team that was already remarkable and you made it more cohesive. And when you return for your example-driven leadership, that same team has continued to solidify BAMC as the Army's premier strategic wartime medical readiness platform. President Abraham Lincoln once said, and I'll modify it a little bit, that nearly all men and women can stand adversity. But if you want to test a man or woman's character, give him power, because you already become more of what you already are. So there's no question of your character. You continue to serve your nation with honor, with dignity, and tenacity. With your remarkable success, I can think of no better place for you than as the CG of RHC Europe, Director of Defense Health Region Europe, and Command Surgeon. Get ready, you're going to have a fun ride with 3 hats. There you'll have the opportunity to lead through the upcoming challenges to the military and military medicine and Army medicine at the tip of the spear. As we all know, there's some things going on in Europe that you will be very involved in, so you'll be busy. This is a critical time in history for our country and, quite frankly, for the world. We're adapting who we are, how we fight in preparation for future operational challenges, and I think your leadership will be vital to the ongoing successful modernization of the Army and Army medicine. So, Clint, thank you for your unwavering support of this region, and just know that I'm honored to serve alongside you. So call me anytime if I can be of any service to you. Army medicine is Army strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing Commanding General of Brooke Army Medical Center, Brigadier General Clinton Murray.
So thank you all very much for coming. It really does mean a lot. General Bagby and I were standing outside, and the lullaby song actually played when we were standing out there. If you talk about an omen, it's pretty special. There's a song that I love to hear in this building, and that's it, right? 4 or 5 bursts a day. And for that to occur in my last moments before I give up command is incredibly special. So thank you. More importantly, I have like 6 dogs in the front row. I wish folks on Facebook Live can see it. My only request is, I think previous event I had, a couple of them started getting into it. So I think they separated those dogs. So we're not going to have a fight in the front row. And not that we need an animal bite in the room, or not that we need to have any issues to visit the ER. We would like to avoid that if at all possible. But we can engage because we know how to do that in this building. It really is great. I really appreciate the folks who set this up. These are very challenging to do. We tried to scale down for lots of good reasons, but I know it takes an awful lot of work. And thanks yet again for doing a great job emceeing this event. You've done almost all of the events I've been involved in, so you've done a wonderful job. Thank you, band, for coming. You really add that level of professionalism and esprit de corps that's so incredibly important, so thank you. It means a lot. Chaplain Smith, great words as always. Thank you for meeting with me all the time, giving me guidance, and really keeping that grit and resiliency in our building moving forward. You've had a huge impact. Thank you. Heather, wow, how many times have you sung for me? It is very special. We actually messed this up, and we weren't going to have her sing, and I heard about that like yesterday. I'm like, no, we're fixing that one. But more importantly, you've been a great friend going back almost 23 years now, and you're an important part of our entire family and have made a huge difference. So thank you very much. General Bagby, thank you for those incredibly kind words. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for setting up the organization, and I just fell in on you, and it went great, so thank you. Especially the Regional Health Command Central staff. Your ability to look at our friction points, decrease them so we could focus on our people and our mission really made a difference, so thank you. General Ryder, thanks for being a great wingman / battle buddy. Make sure I use the right terms there. You've done an amazing job at the market, an incredibly complex healthcare system, and you've done great. More importantly, you've been a trusted confidant, and probably more importantly that, you're a friend. Thank you. I look forward to watching you continue to excel, and you'll do great work, so thank you. Command Sergeant Major Reynolds, thanks for being a great battle buddy. We've had lots of competing priorities, and you've been able to sort of stand there and have my back the whole way and make sure you're focused down and in and up and out appropriately, and I couldn't have asked for a better person for the last 9 months, so thank you. And then for the staff of BAMC, I love walking the hallways. I hate wearing the mask, but we're probably going to do that forever in this hospital, I think. But to see the twinkle in your eye and the creases in your eye of the smiles. I understand you still don't know who I am. I get it. Even this week, I walked up to them there and had a wonderful conversation. I could hear them go, "Who was that?" So I think they need to make this star like huge or something, because clearly this little specialist rank, they don't see. Anyway, clearly my ego is not part of the game anymore, the number of times this has happened. But it has been great. And then also from a command suite standpoint, you always want to be surrounded by amazing people, and we're all blessed to be supported by Ms. Putnam. Been a civilian here for over 60 years, has been the command secretary for over 40. I got in enough trouble as a baby captain that I actually had to go visit the commander. That's always a bad thing as a captain. And she took good care of me as a baby captain. And you all know I've been here for 18 years. So she took care of me as a baby captain, as a baby major, as a baby lieutenant colonel, as a baby colonel. And they went, we got to send him back, right? She's done a good job so far. Let's make his first command, and she can mature this baby general officer. And she got 9 months to do that, and hopefully that was enough for it to take, but thank you. And then really from a command staff standpoint, as a commander, you have to have that staff around you. They're the ones that make you look good. They're the ones that actually do all the hard work. They're the ones that do all the briefs. They're the ones that didn't take it out. And I've been blessed to just have an amazing group that's there all the time. And more importantly, you're fun to hang out with. You made fun of me really good about an hour ago, so I always appreciate that. And again, you keep me humble, so I appreciate that. So when I came here 9 months ago, I said it was a dream job. Absolutely, right? I just alluded to being here for 18 straight years and be able to come back as a general officer was incredibly special. And it's special because of the people and the mission. And it truthfully isn't any better than here. DOD, civilian, then all over the place, all over the world doing healthcare. This is the pinnacle. And it's because we appropriately balance the profession of arms and the profession of medicine every day. And it's not about us, it's about somebody else, all day long in both of those spaces. And it's incredibly humbling to watch you do that. Because as General Bagby sort of alluded to, it's been an interesting 9 years, and interesting is not a good word, I'll just put that out there. 2 COVID surges, the patient census during both of those were as high as BAMC's ever had, really for the last 25 years we've been in this building. That's not inconsequential. Joint Commission, we were so busy in the middle of a COVID surge, we didn't prep. We just said, come and see what happens. And it ended up being a huge morale building event, which I would have never guessed that a Joint Commission actually built morale. But it did, because you got to brag about how good we are. You got to get out in front of them and say, no, we do all this time, and we do this during a COVID surge, which was impressive. We've also deployed folks, as alluded to, all over the world, all over the US, because really, the number one priority of the national security strategy is protect the homeland. COVID was attacking Homeland, right? So when we had to go out, busy as we were, we spent folks all over the world and really all over the US because it was the right thing to do. That's what we do. We stand up and we fill the gap. Doesn't matter how busy we are here, we're still here to serve the country. And that was a priority. And then we had the Afghan mission. We sent folks to Afghanistan. We sent folks all over the country. We sent one of our folks to actually be on the lead team. And for those of us that had deployed to Afghanistan, we couldn't get that wrong. We had to get that right? Many of us had our guardian angel on our back, having a relationship. For me, it was an ID doc who was also in a preventive medicine, know his wife, knows the kids, 2 of them, right? We couldn't get that wrong. Needed to get him out, needed to get him home, needed to get him safe. And that's the beauty of the US. We do that. We do that right, and then we bring you to a country that will take care of you. Incredibly special. And now we're continuing to move through dynamic times, right? So just watch the news. Ukraine is pretty intense. But it's not just Ukraine, right? So think about it. Taiwan and China, pretty significant. I spent a lot of time in Korea. There are a lot of missiles flying out of Korea right now, right? And then the treaty in Iran is not an insignificant event. So that's what we do. So from a BAMC standpoint, that's sort of our focus in our thought process. But I think you got to sort of put it into the broader context. Now, we've been at war for 20 plus years. That's a lot pushing on you. So when you talk about stress, that's pretty significant. We're in the 100-year pandemic, the 3rd year of what happened 100 years ago, right? That is a significant event, and it's still moving, right? All proposed, we're going through the largest transition of the military health system that we have in really anyone's memory. I'm not sure if it's not the biggest. Again, 3rd huge event. I'm gonna argue the militaries are going through probably the largest modernization and transformation in really recent memory. For the Army, it's really the biggest one since the early 70s. That is a significant event. And then again, put the world order on top of that. So that's 5 massive events on top of what we do day in and day out. And you continue to lead from the front and really set the example of what to do right. And the reason it's so exciting to do that is because it's all about you. You raised your hand, you said, I want to serve this country, right? This is about somebody else. This is about other people. Profession of arms, profession of medicine, 2 most noble professions out there. And that's what we do in this room. And I got to work with you each and every day to see you be successful. I think you should put this potentially in even a historical context. So think about the greatest nation. What forged, the greatest generation. What forged that generation? I'm gonna argue it was World War I. It was the pandemic of 1918 and 1919. It was the Great Depression, right? And what did it result in? It resulted in character. It resulted in priorities. It talked about family, about communities, about a country, right? So they could be the heroes of World War II, so that they could drive this country to talk about freedom and liberty and justice and really set the world order. I'm gonna argue we're in an inflection point again. I'm gonna argue we're in that fork in the road. How do we do this right? How do we seize it and how do we shape it? I think BAMC is doing that, right? I think when you talk about our dignity and diversity and equity, when you talk about the different things we're pushing inside this building, not just healthcare, not just the profession of arms and profession of medicine, but about people, that's what you do. And that's why it's so incredibly exciting to be here each and every day, because that's what it's about. And I'm gonna argue BAMC is driving that as we go forward. The only thing I regret is I will not be here to continue to move it forward. This is the Army, and we do keep rolling along. So it's great to have Kim Beaver fill in after me. Kim is the perfect person. She's somewhere up there. Thank you. Yep. She really is a perfect person. She's been the deputy for almost a year now. Before that, she was the chief up at region. And before that, she was a commander in the region. She actually knows our problem set. She's a great nurse. She still sees clinic at Marino Clinic, typically once a week if we can carve out the time, but she's pretty good at doing that. And the great thing is she's going to fill for 3 months, and then we have Colonel Promotable Deidre Tahan filling in. She's actually here today. I'm not going to have her stand and give her a round of applause, but it is great that she was able to sort of join in on this event. But she really is the right person at the right time. I was blessed to take command of Walter Reed Army Institute of Research from her, and she set me up for complete success, and I had a blast. Again, that was an 11-month tour, so they seem to keep getting shorter. I'm not sure what's going on. I hope I'm not getting fired from each one of these jobs. But she really set me up, and I hope I've done the same thing. I send her sort of BCC'd emails all the time. She was here for a left seat, right seat about 2 weeks ago and is actually meeting with the staff all this week. She is so thrilled to be here. And if you think I do some social media, that's because I'm forced to, because our PAO office is awesome. And they convinced me this forehead is not too big on selfies. I continue to argue it's huge, but I know you'll do great, Deidre, and I look forward to watching from afar. So the last two groups I've got to thank is really my family, my mom and dad. You're just amazing. You're here all the time. My dad's going to drive with us today up to the lake on a little vacation. Mom's busy working because she just can't help herself. But they're just wonderful people, and I'm blessed that you continue to sort of influence our lives. And then the other thing we're thrilled about is we came back to Texas. Our siblings are all in Texas. Our children are in Texas. All parents are all in Texas. Most of our aunts and uncles are in Texas. So we've had 9 months of really getting that relationship back. So it's been very thrilled to do that. And then the last person I have to thank is Leanne. So we'll see how this goes. You really are my foundation, my sounding board, my rock. Thank you very much. You're the one that shows me my blind spots, and you're the one that allows me to laugh at myself, which I appreciated. And just to highlight how important you were, really what I would argue is to BAMC and everybody. So this whole idea of the greatest generation, yeah, that was hers. Right. So we were sitting at the hotel late last week, and she was sort of talking about the dynamics and all the things we're going through, and really sort of pulled that out. And truthfully, we've been dating since we were 15, right? So I cheated off her in high school because she's so much smarter than I am, right? And been married for 30 years. So she really does know me and knows how to dig in there. The other thing is when we walk the halls on the weekend and just say hi and thanks to the staff, right? She's there every weekend with me. And what's really nice about that is she said, hey, let's go visit the dining facility today. Hey, let's go visit security. Hey, she always takes me to a new place. She can't find it, I can, but she always tries to take me there. But what she always does is not only does she engage nicely, but she walks out and goes, you didn't handle that well. Next time, say it this way, right? I'm like, okay, thank you. You know, I can be humble enough to take that from my amazingly perfect wife. But she is, right? She truly is. I'm not making that up. The other thing is that she dresses me, not every day, right? Because this is simple, right? This I can handle, but if I need a Halloween event, she is the person that's going to find a squid outfit for me, right? Yeah, thank you. If I need an ugly sweater, she's going to go to Whataburger and find me an ugly sweater, right? If I need a Santa hat that bobs around and makes me look like a dork, she's the one that's going to do that. And what I love about that is she knows that she can get me to laugh at myself, and she can get me to sort of go one off. And that's why you're amazing. And just to highlight the barn workout, she actually woke up 4 or 5 each of those days to make breakfast from scratch. And then would actually sit there. And then afterwards, she'd debrief me, because it was not me debriefing her. And she would say, you know, that was a great conversation. Did you think about this? How are we going to incorporate that? And that's what was so special. What you always want in your life is someone that's a force multiplier, and you're my force multiplier. So thank you for everything you do. You're amazing. Thanks. And again, thank you all very much. This has been an amazing 9 months. As you all know, I wish I could be here longer, but it is what it is. So thank you. One team, one purpose. Army medicine, Army strong. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for please stand for the playing of the Army song and remain standing for the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Brigadier General Murray will be located at the rear of the auditorium for those who would like to wish him farewell. Thank you for your attendance.